is. Nonetheless, a fantastic fight. We move on in our car. Let's go to the lightweight division.
My name is Tony Llamas. I'm fighting out of Porterville, California.
It's Sergio Cortez. I'm fighting out of Central Valley Combat Academy from Huron, California.
My greatest advantage on this fight will probably be standing up or ground. It don't matter. Wherever he wants to go, it's fine.
I feel strong. I feel, my boxing is going to be good. If he wants to box this time, we're going to box. But if he wants to take me down again, then, I have to choke him out again.
I envision this fight going stand up until he makes a mistake and I take him down and submit him or TKO him.
They're going to see me run across the ring and just get to work, get busy on him, and throw my hands, let him go. But if he wants to take it to the ground, then there's no problem. We can go to the ground, and I could either strike from the top or submit him from the bottom. It don't matter.
A victory tonight would mean a title shot. Give me the belt.
I lost my last two, so I'm looking for this win, and I need that money, man. I just had a baby, and the infant ain't cheap.
Sergio Cortez super excited to take this fight on short notice. He's filling in for Papis Martinez, who was originally slated to fight Tony Llamas. He had 2 weeks to prepare, and he's fighting above a weight class than he normally does. He mentioned he just had a baby, and infant isn't cheap. Money always a factor when guys take fights on short notice. Cody, you're no stranger to taking a fight on short notice. You've done it regionally and on the big show. What really do you weigh when someone calls you and says, hey, we need you to take a short fight? Is it just yes every time, or break down the thought process?
Well, I think it depends on where you're at in your career. Sergio, 19 pro fights. He's about a 500 record. So for him, I've trained alongside Sergio before. He's a tough guy, very tough, very durable. Most of his losses are from quality opponents. So for me, at least, it was how good a shape am I in today. If I was in good enough shape, and in a week or 2 weeks or 6 days or whatever the case may be, I felt like I could get in the cage and perform at least up to the standard I wanted to perform at and get the win. I've never turned down the short notice fight either. So Sergio's a guy that you can call him and tell him, hey, Sergio, we're going to fly you out tomorrow somewhere else to fight, and he'd say, okay, I'll be there. That's just his personality. He's a fighter. He's always been a fighter in the gym. Sometimes he likes to get in fights. I can attest to it. He's a fighter. And so he took this fight. He actually has a win over Tony already. So if you're confident you can beat somebody, why not, You
mentioned that victory over Tony Llamas. Sergio Cortez owns that. Going to try to draw on that previous experience tonight here, stepping up in a weight class that he doesn't normally fight at on just 2 weeks' notice. Tony Llamas, no stranger to mixed martial arts. He's a bit of a journeyman in MMA who really just loves to fight. Generally, he's the underdog in a lot of his fights, but that doesn't mean you can ever overlook him. He has the ability to knock you out and submit you. Tachi Palace Fights champion Papis Martinez found that out the hard way when Llamas upset the Tachi kid in this very building back in May of 2012. Llamas and Martinez were scheduled to settle their score here tonight, but Martinez was forced out due to injury. Llamas is a firecracker and will either finish you or go out on a shield. In 28 bouts, Llamas has never involved the judges in an outcome of his fight. We've seen some stoppages tonight. We've seen some fights go to the scorecards. It's a safe bet that this is probably not going the full 15.
No, Sergio holds a win over Tony. Tony's he's been submitted a lot of times in his career. He might not have the best submission defense, but he also has a lot of submissions to his credit as well. So he does have a good choke. He's got some good offense. Just a quick note, Papis Martinez is going through some medical issues, some serious medical issues. So our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family during this time right now.
Yep, definitely wish him a speedy recovery. And I can't wait to see him, even if it's not inside the cage, can't wait to see him back here at the Tachi Palace Hotel and Casino. Again, TJ DeSantis along with Cody Gibson. Don't forget, you got to come out early to the fights here at Tachi. It's really an experience, and you can enjoy the Tachi Palace Fights slot tournament where you attempt to knock out two fighters and take your share of $2,000 in Tachi cash. Your next chance to win is when we're back here May 7th, part of Tachi Palace Fights 23. Our tail of the tape here for this lightweight affair. Sergio Cortez weighed in a little bit under, showing you that he walks around roughly 153.8. Tony Llamas comes in at 155.4. We see the age difference there. 7 years the elder is Llamas to Cortez, and a wealth of experience on both ends. Llamas taking a little while to get inside the cage here. Can't exactly see what is happening. I don't know if there's something wrong with his equipment, but looks like he's getting inspected now. Will be in the cage momentarily. Don't forget, 3 titles on the line tonight in our main events. I'll call them. It's a 3-way main event, really. Bantamweight championship between Rolando Velasco and Fabiano Jacarezinho. Alex Perez takes on Anthony Figueroa for the flyweight title. And Angel the Dream Deanda faces David Mitchell. Let's go up to Tyson Johnson for our official introductions in this lightweight affair.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next Tachi Palace fight will be 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 153 pounds. He represents the Central Valley Combat Academy with a mixed martial arts record of 9 wins and 10 defeats. He hails out of Huron, California. Please welcome Sergio Cortez. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 155 pounds. He represents Team Fearless Fighters with a mixed martial arts record of 13 wins and 15 defeats. He hails from Porterville, California. Please welcome Tony Nuno Llamas. Your referee for this bout will be Mark Lawley.
Mark Lawley getting the assignment of this lightweight affair between Tony Llamas and Sergio Cortez. Jason Jones, checking in on Twitter, said that he had the fight for Castle Williams with rounds 1 and 3 going the way of the pit product. Appreciate you joining us on Twitter using the hashtag TPF22. Both men exchange kicks early to the body. Well, kick fest here.
Yeah, each guy throwing heavy kicks.
Up.
And neither guy looks like they're looking to fight for 15 minutes here. A lot of body kicks. Takedown attempt from Llamas.
I don't think these guys are looking to fight 5 minutes.
No. He grabs the fence, but he still ends up on bottom. In half guard. You know, Sergio's competent on the ground. I don't know how dangerous he really is.
More defensive posture than offensive, you think?
Well, I mean, he tapped out Tony with a guillotine in their first fight, so you never know. But just in my experiences rolling with him, he's definitely competent, can regain guard, can do things like that. So we'll see, if he can catch one of those guillotines. He's going to have to get to full guard. Looks like a pass to side control for Llamas, and he gets there. He's in side control now.
Can't tell from our angle if he's attacking the right arm of Cortez.
Not
he's not anymore.
Sergio's doing a good job of wall walking or cage walking with his feet to try to reverse his position.
And again, you can walk the cage. You cannot dig your toes in the chain link, however.
Yeah, you just can't dig them like fingers. But you can use the cage. He's trying to roll through. It looks like he might get it.
Almost out, but Llamas able to control the head.
And the arm, that left arm of Sergio. He needed to roll that through as well. And now he's kind of stuck here in half. Here he goes. He's out now. Or possibly, right back to the same position.
This fight started off with furious kicks to the body. It's slowed down now. See him caught in a crucifix here.
He put himself in that crucifix trying to sweep Llamas. And he gets out of it, though, back to the side control. Tony's not really using the side control, for a lot of offense. It's really hard to beat up a guy from side control just because to really hurt him, you got to create space. And side control is one of those positions where you cannot create space, or else the guy shrimps it out and he gets wherever he's getting to. So doing a good job of control. It looks like he's going to take the back of Sergio.
One hook in. We'll see if Llamas tries to get the right hook in.
He does.
Cortez trying to get to a base. Llamas trying to dig his right forearm underneath the chin of Cortez. Cortez able to stave it off for now.
Look for him to transition to I thought it looked like he was going to transition to an armbar, but he goes back to the rear naked choke attempt. He's trying to pancake him out.
It's funny, you look at these guys' records, 10 years ago, you look at a guy's record who, is maybe a 500 fighter with, 15 or 20 fights. You think, they're just brawlers. Both of these guys have those records, but they have ground skills. Maybe they're not jiu-jitsu black belts, but you can't just label these guys as guys that go out there and try to rip your head off.
They need to stop this right here. That should be stopped for grabbing the fence like that.
Yeah, he got on top because of it. Mark Lawley kind of said something, but now Cortez is enjoying that.
What kind of a punishment did he get?
Nothing.
And now
he's got a
him in the
guillotine, but
although
Llamas has passed aside.
See, they need to stop. If the position has changed based off a fence grab, you need to stop the fight.
A stern warning needs to be given, if not a point.
I think a point. I think you start docking points for every time a guy grabs the cage. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to stop grabbing the cage. I would be a harsh ref. Well, you know, you get tired of seeing these guys grab the fence.
It's true. And, I mean, that's the thing in mixed martial arts as well, is you're given really 2 fouls before a point is taken away.
I can go out there, grab the fence, kick the guy in between the legs, and poke him in the eye without ever anything happening to me. At least once.
That's precision striking, though, if you can do that repeatedly.
So now we're back in that side control position. Dropping some elbows. But again, just hard to mount a lot of offense from side control in MMA, at least punching-wise. There's some good chokes from there. If you can get that crucifix position, that's a great position. But again, Sergio getting his feet up against that cage. He's going to try to use it. He should be shrimping that inside knee to try to get to a half guard or a full guard. There he goes, and he's got his full guard locked. Postured up, Tony Llamas. He goes to the body hard.
Final 30 seconds of this first round.
It's been a good round, you know. Tony's done a good job of controlling the fight, you know.
The only time he's been in a vulnerable position is when Cortez grabbed that fence and landed on top.
They've got a sturdy fence attached because he grabbed that thing too. I mean, almost ripped it off.
Can't wait to see these guys back on the feet to start the second round, because the kick offense that was unleashed by both of these men in the early part of this fight was insane.
Yeah, they were both kicking hard to the body, so we'll see if that's the case again in round 2. It looks like it's going to go to a round 2, and it will.
A nice onslaught there by Tony Llamas. Controls the position throughout the first round. Should pick that round up easily, 10-9. TJ DeSantis along with Cody Gibson. After this, 3 title fights coming your way here on SureDog.com, all part of Tachi Palace Fights 22. The night of action, let's look at some here from our first round.
Yeah, those kicks, both guys came out with heavy body shots, throwing some heavy leather, and looking to end this fight. Llamas is the one who initially comes in here and tries to clinch up Sergio, and the rest of the round was pretty much spent on the mat. You see him taking the back here. Never really threatened with a finish per se, at least not really close. Sergio doing a good job of defending. But definitely dominated position. And here's that fence grab. Look at that fence grab.
He really had.
Looked like Aldo Mendez. Won. I don't know. I'm not bitter about it. Maybe I am. I don't know.
I think you are a little bit. Mark Lawley's not bitter about it. We'll see if he lets anything like that go on here in our middle period. Again, TJ DeSantis along with Cody Gibson. This is Tachi Palace Fights 22, streaming live and free on SureDog.com. Appreciate you joining us here this evening. And here we go.
Let's see if
round
they come
number
out.
2.
Let's see if they come out like they did. Oh, nice
Hard
right hand by
Cortez.
Sergio. Cortez does a nice overhand right now. Outside leg kick, not much on that.
Llamas egging him on, doubling up with the left high kicks.
He keeps his hands really low. Look at this body kick. He keeps his hands really low. Llamas does. And another body kick.
Hard. That kick caught.
This is what Llamas wants, though. He wants to be on top.
Kicks there. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Those up kicks?
Llamas drops his hands and he just comes forward like he doesn't care. And ends up on top again. This is where I think he wants to be, you know.
You couldn't tell that by the doubling up of the left kicks, man. Both of these guys were kicking each other to the body viciously.
Yeah, they're just soccer kicking each other.
Back inside the closed guard is Tony Llamas of Sergio Cortez. He stacks. Nice little short elbow on the inside.
Again, got his head pressed up against that cage. Landing some ground and pound, but nothing too damaging. Let's see if the referee stands him up here in a minute.
Oh, hard right hand!
He looked like he was hurt.
I thought he went out for a brief moment,
like
but he's still there. Mark Lawley has the best view of it.
Yeah, and you saw the referee kind of flinch like he thought he was out too. Back to the body he goes.
Got to beware of the power of Tony Llamas inside the guard of Sergio Cortez.
And they're right in front of us, so we could hear those shots. Some of those body punches and shots to the head, they're landing hard.
Makes me wonder why you're a fighter.
Makes me wonder why you're not. It looks like Sergio's...
He was isolating the right arm there.
Yeah, it looked like he was setting up some type of a triangle attempt or something. But, again, he's got his feet on the hips. There's some offense to, You can't let him posture like that. There's not very many submissions when a guy's postured high up over the top of you. So he's got to bring that posture down, or he's got to look to get back to his feet, sweep or something, because this is
hard right hands by Llamas.
He's got to get his hand out of that fence too. He can't have his hand in that fence. Like that.
Mark Lawley noticed that Cortez has grabbed the fence. I think we're going to see a point taken away.
I think so too.
We should see a point taken away. I think this would officially be his first warning.
Is that a point? Is that what he did there?
I think he might have taken a point. I'm not sure if he took a point. Usually, you don't want to take away the position from Tony Llamas, but usually you see
a stand up at that point. But
a ceremony.
I like that though. I like if you've got his. I don't know why I couldn't. I guess.
I would like some clarification from Mark Lawley in the break if he did take away a point, because I'm not exactly sure what happened.
It looked like
there.
He put up a finger,
but he didn't. Oh. He didn't really notify all of the judges. And really, there was no first initial warning either. I'm not saying that that's right.
Well, he shook his hand, shook his finger or something like that, Yeah. He didn't really care the first 2 times he did it. Again, Tony just really dominating position. Looks like he's going for a crossface there. Dominating position. He just landed some good shots this round. There's a submission right there. Sergio doing a good job of shrimping in,
Llamas keeping up a very nice work right here from on top.
Yeah, I wouldn't stand the fight up either. He's landing shots. He's doing his job. This could be a big knee right here.
Cortez getting to his base. We'll see if...
goes for a guillotine. He's got it.
Llamas working a guillotine. This thing is deep right in front of us here. Cortez wincing, trying to fight the hand.
He's going to
going to his back. A little bit of space there. Llamas follows on top.
Good job by
nice
Cortez
stuff by
getting
Sergio
out of there.
Cortez
now he needs
to
to
attack
right now. Oh, man. That was tight.
It definitely was. The pain expression from Sergio Cortez was definitely there.
I like to see in the replay, if you notice, when Llamas pulled guard with the guillotine, his legs were really low on Sergio's body. Had he pulled that guard higher up on the body, I think he might have been able to finish there. They were so low, in fact, that Sergio was able to shrimp essentially to his side and get out of the position. So
under 1 minute remaining here in our second round between Tony Llamas and Sergio Cortez. Tachi Palace Fights 22 sold out here tonight in the bingo hall at the Palace.
Yeah, this is just a workman approach for Tony Llamas, staying on top. He's landed his shots.
Back up on top. I don't necessarily agree with this either. Llamas has proven to be offensive. There was a little bit of a respite in the action there, but not enough to, I think, warrant a stand-up, Cody.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see these guys bang a little bit more, so I'm happy with it. But yeah, you're right.
Now, with Cortez working a guillotine, doesn't have the position with his legs, and Llamas is out.
And if you looked at the couple of strikes Sergio Cortez threw when they got back to their feet, he tried a couple kicks, a whole lot less steam on them than we saw in the beginning of the second round.
Final moments here, round number 2, more hammer fist by Tony Llamas, followed up by some elbows.
And, again, we've got to note, Sergio Cortez taking this fight on only a couple weeks' notice. What kind of cardio did he have, 2 weeks ago as opposed to tonight? How much can you do in 2 weeks?
Trying to flag down the referee to see if he took a point away. Usually when they take a point away, Cody, you take the fighter out, you walk him to each judge and say 1 point, and then you return to that position. We didn't get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
He definitely did throw up one finger, but who he threw that finger up to, I'm not exactly certain.
Yeah.
All right, we have confirmation. He did take a point. So we'll see. Cortez now is really up against him. He's losing this fight on the judges' scorecards by sheer domination and also by a foul. So
yeah, if you're Sergio's corner or you're Sergio, you're coming out to look for that guillotine that you caught him with in your first meeting, or a big knockout punch. I don't know how much he has left in the gas tank, though. To be honest with you, he's starting to slow down.
Our final 5 minutes between these two lightweights is Tony Llamas against Sergio Cortez. We've seen a lot of fireworks here on the feet. We'll see if we see that continue here in our final frame.
Sergio's got to keep his back away from the cage because Tony's going to bulldog him right into that cage and look for another takedown. He's had success on top.
You see the punches here from Cortez. Still in bunches, but not as hard. He did land a nice left hand to the chin of Llamas. Llamas waving him on, saying, come on. Nice kick to the lead leg by Llamas.
Look at Llamas' hands.
They're way down.
Down to his waist. And I don't think that's because he's tired or doesn't know the technique to keep your hands up. I think he just doesn't care. He's just that kind of a fighter. He just doesn't care.
He's comfortable with it.
Yeah.
You know, both of these guys are comfortable with fighting. We talked about that at the top. I mean,
they're both tough dudes.
Keeping up a nice pace here.
Yeah, it's good to see a little bit of stand-up in this third round. We've seen 2 rounds of primarily grappling, so Sergio's definitely going for it. He's throwing some heaters.
I did not expect the kick offense by both of these gentlemen, though.
I didn't either.
A lot of kicks. Llamas wound up so hard on that he almost fell over throwing that punch.
Yeah, Hook almost sent him 360. Good jab by Llamas. I don't like him holding his hands out low. If I was his corner, I'd be yelling, screaming.
Yeah, I'm curious if this is how he spars.
I think so. Yeah. Some guys have different styles, and you can't break that style. And it's not necessarily wrong, for them to have that style, or that's the way they like to fight. They're the ones in there risking everything, to be in there. So you got to let a guy fight how he's going to fight. It's dangerous in my eyes. It's scary to watch a guy hold his hands like that, but he's got good head movement. I got to give him that. He's moving his head out of the way, shuffling out when Sergio's coming forward. Takedown attempt from Sergio just briefly.
Just kind of grabbed that leg. Didn't really
big uppercut attempt
on
from
it.
Llamas.
Llamas still very dangerous with his strikes.
Oh, yeah. Both guys can end the night with one punch. And Sergio's going for it. You can tell he knows he's behind the point deduction. The 2 rounds of being controlled on the mat. And this is what he doesn't want is Tony Llamas back on him. He's looking for a Kimura from this position. I don't know.
It's interesting. He had that position, didn't really try to push him towards the fence at all to kind of secure the position. I wonder if that's because Cortez has grabbed the fence on multiple occasions.
Well, I think it was because Cortez had that Kimura lock, and he would rather just go back to standing than fight off that lock and try to get the fight to the ground. Sometimes even if you don't, get your submission locked in, the threat of it could change your opponent's movement or what he decides to do from that position. So, again, we're seeing a bit more of a stand-up fight this third round. Pretty even, on the feet.
Well, hard, nice little jab there. There's actually a left cross there by Tony Llamas.
Oh, another high kick thrown by Sergio Cortez. Misses, or is blocked, I should say, from Tony Llamas.
If you would have told me that the 13th minute of this fight would have looked like this, I would have said you were crazy. I mean, both of these guys, really keeping a high pace from the onset of this fight. This entire round has pretty much been on the feet, but both guys still throwing bombs.
Yeah, for 2 weeks' notice, Sergio's coming in pretty good shape,
And then this is interesting. Sergio normally fights at 45, fighting at 55. I mean, short notice. Maybe he's a bit more comfortable.
Big body
nice
kick, spinning back kick right
Llamas.
to the body. No, I don't see any reaction on Sergio. He does not seem to be hurt by it.
Llamas stalking him, though, like he knows more than Cortez is letting on.
Yeah, that was a beautiful spinning back kick right to the body of Sergio Cortez, but doesn't look any worse the wear. Here comes, shoots in again. Little half shot. Llamas is not afraid of a stand-up. He's definitely has the speed advantage, especially in this third round.
It's really amazing to see the approach by Tony Llamas. His hands are that of like a video game fighter.
Yeah, but he does have good head movement. Maybe he's a little too confident in that head movement. He's stalking Sergio right now,
The intense look on Tony Llamas. No fear by him.
Oh, he landed
hard
that.
left high kick by Tony Llamas. A little delayed reaction, I think, maybe for the body kick. Sergio Cortez is hurt. Llamas is trying to put in the coffin nails. Left hand, right hand. Cortez is trying to stand. Wow.
He stands back up.
Sergio Cortez is a durable fighter, man. Wow. Yeah, I think he might just be exhausted.
I think so,
Hard right hand by Llamas.
And now he ends up in side control again. He's trying to just make it through the fight. It was almost like a moral victory. And Llamas is trying to hurt him before this bell ends. See if we see another high head kick.
What an amazing fight. Sergio Cortez not going to get the victory on the judges' scorecards, but really, like you said, a moral victory, taking a fight on 2 weeks' notice in a weight class higher than he normally fights in. But let's not let that take away anything from Tony Llamas. That was a fantastic performance, really in control the entire way.
Yeah, he controlled the fight the first 2 rounds. If you look here, the replay, this is when they were throwing those body kicks early on in the fight, both of them, and Sergio had thrown some heavy hands. A 1-2 there. There's a low kick from Tony Llamas. And there's that spinning back kick, man. That was a beautiful kick. Right to the stomach, and Sergio just ate it. There's the head kick. It was kind of the feet, though, you know, or the toes.
It was interesting because he fell down there, and I don't know if that was like a strategy. Maybe he thought that if it appeared that he was hurt, maybe Llamas would rush in a little bit, maybe leave a limb behind that he could grab onto. But
I think he was exhausted, and you know, he was okay to go down and try to play on the ground again. I think he was tired of getting hit in the face. Tough fight for Sergio, you know, and a good redemption win for Tony Llamas. You know, I mean, he has a loss on his record, so Sergio just evens it out. I like to see an in-shape, full camp Sergio Cortez. And Tony's fought at 45s as well, so even though this is a fight at 155s, he has fought at 45s. I'd like to see him meet at 145s and do it again. That'd be a good fight.
Llamas and Cortez go the distance. Let's go up to Tyson Johnson and crown our winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for both of these gladiators. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 exciting rounds, the judges have reached a unanimous decision. For your winner, out of the red corner, Tony Nuno Llamas.
Tony Llamas victorious, no surprise there. The judges get it right. A real solid performance for Llamas. I like your idea. I'll co-sign on it. I'd like to see the trilogy happen between Sergio Cortez and Tony Llamas. Give Cortez that benefit of training in a full camp, and we'll see if they have to fight at 55 or 45. I mean, really for fighting in a weight class higher than he normally fights, and Cortez really looks pretty solid at 55.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to do an interview here with
Tony Llamas. That's 4 fights in a row right here at the Tachi Palace Fights. Are you ready for a title shot?
I've been ready.
He says he's ready, boss. Tony Llamas for the lightweight championship of the world.
Maybe we won't see that rematch or that trilogy.
Tony Llamas wants a title fight.
Who's the champ at 155s?
It changes so much around here, I don't know if they have one. I think it's Poppies Martinez.
I don't think I'm not sure.
No, the last person to hold the 155-pound title, if I remember correctly, I think it was Poppies Martinez.
I think you're right. I don't know. I don't know what that was all about. Maybe looks like he's fighting for a title.
Here's the action here. Tony Llamas gets a victory over Sergio Cortez.
The people up in the booth just told me to Google it, so I got to Google it now.
Yeah, I shouldn't have missed that joke.
Yeah, they're even making fun of me.
That means you're one of us, Cody.
This is your fault. That's my fault, I guess.
I think it's a drunk guy in Vegas' fault.
He gets out of that guillotine here. Good job. I mean, Sergio fought tough, you know. I mean, a lot of guys would have quit, especially that 3rd round. Especially when you land things like that.
It's interesting because Cortez went down here, and I think you're right. I think it was just exhaustion.
Yeah, I don't see a punch that really dazed him and buckled his legs.
He hit him in the body, and sometimes body shots will have a delayed reaction, but I don't think that body shot
was
enough. But Tony Llamas, your victor. It's Tachi